Guys, there's something that I want us to look into. When it comes to the Senzomeyiwatrial, there's something that I think a lot of us are not paying attention to, right? There's just something very small detail that a lot of us are not paying attention to. Okay. I want us to look at how the judge exposes Mnisi. I want you to, guys, you know what? I will always stand for the accused, the defense. But equally so, you will know that when the judge was doing, was acting in good faith, I will also say the judge is acting right. This time around, I am 100% behind the judge. But here's the question. Will the judge president take action against Mnisi and the defense entirely? Why I'm saying that the judge president is very, very, very concerned about it. And I can promise you now, the judge president will be involved in this case. Whether you like that or not, that we'll explore later on. But I can guarantee you, the judge president in this case will be involved. Come next week, Tuesday, guaranteed, the judge president will be involved here. But let's park this one. We'll come back to this one. Okay, let's go back to what Mnisi said. Do you remember when Mnisi asked for 3 weeks, right? Because a lot of people have been arguing that no. It's not just reading, but it is constructing your defense. And here is where, and I want you guys to listen to me very well. Here is where our very own Mnisi that we defended, that I still believe in, but in this case, I don't believe is on the right. Here is what puts the man into a very interesting position that he doesn't want to be in. I'm going to show you how the man exposed himself, Mnisi himself. But first, listen to Mnisi here.
I had to, I was supposed to go around the 2 oceans last week, Saturday. And I had to forfeit my registration because I had no other option but to concentrate on this case. I'm not ready, my Lord, to proceed. I'm not ready, my Lord. Otherwise, if I had to come here and tell the court that I am ready, that will be an injustice to Mr. Sibiya. I would therefore request, my Lord, a further postponement of this case. And I will continue to prepare. Come that date, I'll come and tell this court that I'm ready or I'm not ready.
Okay, listen to this. Mnisi, when he asked for the postponement, listen to this one. When he asked for the first postponement, that was granted, right? He said, I'm going to read these things at home. He went home. He read things. He comes back and asks for a second postponement. When he asked for the second postponement, he said, my Lord, I will be ready. I know. Go back to his words. That's one. He said, I will be ready. You cannot excuse. That is the argument that Judge Rata is bringing here. He's saying you are a qualified lawyer. That's one. Two, be happy. Beyond you being qualified, you have an experience. You are well experienced. From what I know, Mnisi is the well experienced lawyer in. I don't know whether, as far as the defense is concerned, let me just talk about the defense. As far as the defense is concerned, Mnisi is the most experienced lawyer there. That's two. And I'm going to show you where it matters, right? I'm going to show you where that matters. When he asked the first postponement, when he first asked for the first postponement, he might have gone through the paperwork, right? He might have seen this. I want you to pay attention. He might have seen everything. The first time he went through this thing, he realized he needed second postponement, right? Second postponement, right? That That is where Mnisi would have look. If we're talking about a professional, you will have had a clear guidelines to say, listen, I've gone through this work. This is how much time is needed. Do you remember Mnisi was so sure that he needed only 3 weeks? Do you remember that? Because previously, before he asked the second postponement, he had gone through the work, right? And the judge says, okay, I know. I remember the judge was also not happy, but he was like, okay, it's fine. We grant the second postponement, right? Which started then until now, 14th, right? Now, before I proceed, listen to the judge here.
That's why I told you, you were cross-examining across the board, all of you. Even was clearing where your clients were not involved in confessions. All of you cross-examined, and I allowed it. Because you argued that our clients are, are charged with a common purpose. So we are entitled to cross-examine on each and every aspect. I said, okay, fine. But it can't go on and on and on and on. So Mr. Mnisi, you must be ready on Tuesday. We'll continue on that day, okay?
Inkantolo inquma ukuthi icala ke ihlehlise kuze kuvikelizayo ngolesibili date kuzobe kuyi-22 kusukumile ke u-advocate Mnisi wetshela inkantolo uma kuwukuthi ihlehliselwa lelo langa ngolesibili kuvikelizayo yena-ke uzobe engekakulungeli ukuthi-ke angaqhubeka kodwa inkantolo ke iyaqhubeka nesinqumo ukuthi sizobuya ngolesibili kuvikelizayo idate kuzobe kuyi-22 kuyona le nyanga esikuyona kulefele.
My apologies.
Okay, so that then creates tension. It creates, can I take this laptop, guys? Okay, that then creates tension to say, wait, firstly, you checked your work, you went through your work, you started working on your own assignment, right? You had a clear picture that, okay, this is the bulk that I have. You came and you asked for this specific time. When Mnisi asked for that specific time, he knew. He even said it himself that he's thorough in his consultation. So he knew that not only he was supposed to read, but also he needed to consult. He knew about that two things. He knew about every single thing that is involved in this process. Yet he came to court and only asked for 3 weeks and ascertained the court or assured the court that by the time the 3 weeks expires that he asked, he would have been ready. It came from him, right? Then the judge says, me, tata, extra the time that you asked. He gave him more extra time. Now, minus the fact that he knew that there was consultation, he affirmed or assured everybody that there was going to be consultation involved in this process. As a professional, one that have done this thing, that's the argument from the judge. You are a professional. Guys, let's not be emotional about these things. Let's not say just because we are always defending the state, we are going to defend them even when they are wrong. We are not going to do that, guys. Let's be clear on how we do things here. We are not going to defend the defense even when they have something to answer for. So I'll give an example in this case. I want to make a very practical example. I've helped a lot of people to record podcasts. I've been last year I volunteered my cameras and everything. I was recording I was working with the podcast. There's a podcast called it's called what? Advent Pod SA. 2024. I volunteered my service. I was busy helping them moving from one church to another. It took me 3 times. we've been into that church. I knew exactly what, okay, from preparation to the point where we have to start the production, it takes us this long to prepare for that. So it wouldn't make sense for a person, for me to come back 6 months later. I still don't know how long it takes from the point we prepare to the point we record, and then we end the production. It shouldn't be the case. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That is the argument from Judge Rata to say you are a professional. It should not take you longer for you to look. It should you should know your work such that when you look at the work, you should be able to now say, okay, this is going to take me this long, and then at least. But you cannot be taking us from back and forth about your work as a professional, experienced one for that matter. No, and I want to like guys. Guys, I'm not convinced. I am not convinced. I'm not convinced. You can hate me on this one, but I'm not convinced. Now, listen to Judge Ratamokwatleng arguing here.
Now, it surprises me an advocate whose experience as Mr. Mnisi can't read 40,000 pages in 2 months. Please. Surprises me. I'm going to accord the final postponement. And if you're not ready on this postponement, then your client will have to intercede on your behalf. And the final postponement, I can only give you up to Tuesday. Tuesday is the holiday.
As it pleases the court, my lord, I do not want to interject. However, if the court says that, it's only saying that I must come next week ready.
So what?
If the court is saying that I should come next week ready to proceed with the matter,
why not?
Then I'm going to request that I be excused from representing accused number one, because I can't do that.
You can say that on
Thank you.
Tuesday.
Yes.
But this case is postponed to Tuesday.
So I personally understand where Judge Ratamokwatleng is coming from. I also understand how Mnisi is shooting himself right on his foot. Because the question is of Mnisi is that it's like being a professional in building house. You are a construction company. You are told, number one, we want you to build this specific structure. It has got this number of rooms. Tell us, how much is it going to take? Now, Angiti, you know when architects are drawing a structure, they will draw the foundation. They will tell you how deep is the foundation. They can even tell you the number of cement that will be used, you know what I'm saying, in the foundation, because they've got the right measurement. They can tell you the number of bricks that you will use in building that structure, because they have that accurate measurement. That's why when they are done, you'll probably find that they are left with just few bricks, because they are a professional. That is what you will expect from a person or caliber of Mnisi. You used to know your job. Know it to an extent that when I wake you up and I show you these voluminal things, bulk, whatever thing that you need to read, you will be able to say, nah, this one, I won't be able to finish this thing on time. That is the problem here. That is what the judge is arguing. You knew, you had a clear view, you went through the paperwork. But you know what also becomes a problem, Mnisi, where he's shooting himself on the foot? It is when he says it is 40,000 pages and the judge says no, it's 60,000 pages. You know what it says? It means Mnisi has not gone through the job. That one, that's what I was like, Mnisi. How come you don't even know the accurate number of the pages? The judge says, no, I've gone through that thing. It's 60,000 pages, not 40,000 pages. So you then have to ask yourself a question. Mnisi, are you really serious about this job? Or in a way, you're just playing tactics? Because how come you don't know the number of pages you have to go through? The judge tells you, no, it's not 40,000, it's 60,000. What does it tell you about how Mnisi has been doing his work? It tells you that there's something wrong with how Mnisi is doing his job. Guys, I'm not going to I'm not going to sit here and say something is right when I say that this is wrong. I'm not going to say that. Ngeke. No matter what, I want to address the judge president here. I mean, I want to say something about the judge president. But before I say that, let me talk to these people. Guys, you may disagree with me. There are people in my comment section below who are totally disagreeing with me. I don't have a problem with that. You know what I have a problem with? It's not even a thin line. There's a huge difference between disagreeing and disrespect. Well, they both start with DIS, but these are two different things. If you disrespect me, this time I'm blocking you. Disagreement, there are people who say, bongs, I totally disagree with you. I saw them, no problem. At the end of the day, that what makes us human beings. We need to disagree. Wife, husbands, they disagree. At work, there are disagreement, wherever. But that doesn't warrant you to disrespect me. This time I've taken a stand. We delete, we block, not even we block you. By the virtue of blocking you, look, your comment is deleted. Some of you might have seen that. That's what I've realized, that we have attracted disrespectful people recently. So the best thing is to press, we can disagree, but never disrespect me. I'm not going to tolerate that. Not in my look. You will come back with another email and comment, block, until you get tired. Well, we used to experience that in the beginning, where we used to have a lot of people disrespecting, block. And I was looking at the number of people that I've blocked. I'm like, wow. We cannot have a group of people that are full of disrespect. We cannot have that, right? But let's proceed. Now, I want us to address the issue of Judge President. I can guarantee you that Judge President, come Monday morning, Tuesday, not in Monday morning, Tuesday morning on the 22nd of April 2025, Judge President will be involved. We are either going to get instruction that this is what the Judge President has instructed, or he will be physically present, either in chambers or even in court. You know that previously he has been physically present in the court. Remember that the cameras picked him sitting there. This time I can guarantee you, because the judge, we have heard from who's this guy, from Judge Ratamo, that the Judge President is angry at this. Remember that the very Judge President, he felt that the days that were given to Mnisi were too much for that postponement. But despite the judge being lenient, the judge will be vindicated. Judge Ratamo, in this process, he will be vindicated. I'm telling you, he will come out vindicated. You know why? Because if the Judge President felt that the days given to Mnisi were too much, yet out of the days that were allocated to Mnisi during the postponement, Mnisi still wants more. Who's right? The judge, the presiding judge, Judge Ratamo, is right. Therefore, the Judge President will now act. And I can guarantee you, Judge President is angry at this, because it's clear that Judge Ratamo is not lying. The Judge President, he is not happy with the progress of this case. It has been clear. We have heard that. It has been clear. What I want you to note here is this one. On Tuesday morning, the 22nd of April, we're going to see probably Judge Advocate Mnisi withdrawing from the case officially. Okay, no problem. A lot of people are saying, other people are saying, what if this man withdraw from the case? Look, this case will be postponed to 6 months. What I'm saying is there should be separation of trial. Period. Because, another thing that I want us to mention in this video is this one. It is the fact that other people are saying, we must remember that we are in this mess because of illegal aid that recommended Muzika Ukhulelwa to choose a lawyer within the lawyers that are there. I'm not sure about that. I don't want to lie. Yes, I followed the Senzomeyiwatrial like religiously, but I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. I'm seriously not sure about that. Kodwa, what I am sure of is the fact that when it comes to what can I say? When it comes to how best can I say this, ne? I'm sure about the fact that when it comes to the situation esikuyona manje, we need to find a solution, but the solution looks like it is us having a separate trial or getting a new lawyer who will ask for months to prepare and then move on. My belief is that we need a permanent solution. We cannot have Mnisi that doesn't even, because guys, this is not fair. This is not fair. You can't say, because listen to Mnisi's argument. He's saying, even if the case is postponed to a specific date, he's still not sure whether he will come back look already. Guys, no, you can't say that. You cannot say that. You cannot. Oganti, what about being professional? Are you not professional enough to know when you're gonna be ready? You can't say even if the postponement is given, even if the postponement is given, you're not even sure if you will be ready by then. Guys, no. Guys, I've never heard of such in a trial. I've never heard of such. It's just even the state, when they ask for postponement in courts, they will usually say that they have a way of phrasing things, of saying things, but they can't say even then we will not be ready. No, they will rather say they are still the investigations are still ongoing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But now, they can do it to a certain extent before the magistrate struck off that case, because they know they can't just keep saying, like that's what happened. Look, oh yeah, it has happened to a lot of people where because of too much postponement, the case will get struck off the roll. So you can't therefore say, I don't know when am I going to be ready. What if there's 3 months, 6 months? You just keep postponing and say, I'm not ready. You can't. I mean, I agree with the judge. I am fully behind the judge. You are a professional. And let me also tell people here. Let me also say this to people. Because people are saying, this reading thing, guys, we are living in the world of technology. There are many ways to kill the cat. Many ways to kill especially when it comes to this reading. I have a Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. You know, I once tested the reading fixture of the fixtures of this thing, right? When you ask the S24 Ultra, just the inbuilt system, to read a document for you, how accurate is that thing? So there are apps these days where you can take, for instance, a document. You ask the state to give you a physical copy and also send you a soft copy, and then you pay a subscription to these apps, and then you take your work, and then you select, maybe let's say you select 10,000 pages, for instance, for this thing to read. Let's say in a day you select in one day you select 5,000 pages, and you ask this thing to read for you. And then I know somebody will say, because I know you guys are so dismissive, you pretend as if technology doesn't work in court. No, technology works in court, but there's a way in which they use technology. So what I normally do, I will have a document prepared. I will either have a printed version and then take this, go into the app and select the same document that I've printed out, and then I insert this thing here and I allow this thing to read for me. As this thing is reading here, because it's more faster, as it reads, I'm listening, and then I'm just following. If I see that I need to highlight here, I just highlight. I'm telling you, You look, usually if for instance it will take me half a day to read maybe 80 to 100 documents. It will take, when I'm doing that, it will take me around 1 hour. I'm done. I'm making an example about it. So we have a systematic way. Technology is there for that. I'm not saying rely fully on technology in this case, because you select the pages as it reads, you follow through, you understand? But it's more quicker than that. And then as it reads, you highlight the important things. Right? Look, judge says he asked his son and the wife to help him as well. That is what advocate Mnisi can do too. He can go and ask student lawyers who wants to practice and say, guys, oh, okay, you're still a student. Come and help me here, guys. Like, there are so many available avenues where, I mean, come on. Yeah, that could have been explored. Let me just say so. You can ask them, let's come and look. I'm telling you, that's basically how other people are getting away with a lot of things, a lot of work these days. They will get students to come and assist them for that specific thing. I don't want to mention podcasts where students are behind the scenes, students probably who are studying filming at school. I know podcasts where they go and get those people to come and assist them in assembling that production and recording those podcasts, editing those videos done by students. So I'm saying there are so many ways we can excuse Mnisi all day long, but it doesn't take away the fact that there are many avenues in this one. If he doesn't have a family that can assist, he can get students that can assist, student lawyers. There are so many ways to kill the cat, guys. So many. Okay, those students doesn't necessarily need to have a reading app. Get 5 students to come and assist. The work that you could have done in 3 weeks, if I have 5 students, I'm able to complete that work in a week. So I will not succumb to this one. More especially because we are dealing with a professional. If it was a new attorney, yeah, I understand. You are still new in the profession. We are still baptizing you in the profession. I understand. But you are dealing with a veteran. You still want a veteran that does not know how long it was going to take for him, having looked at the work, having gone through that work, then came back and asked for a postponement. And you still want to argue that he doesn't even know when he's going to finish that work. Worst part, that veteran doesn't even know the number of pages that are there. Yet the judge tells you, you say 40,000 and 60,000. What does it tell you about that person? It tells me that this person is not serious about reading that work. I know you might be angry at me, but God, let's speak the truth. Let's not be biased. It's going to destroy. The Senzomeyiwatrial case, we always complain about being biased. Let's not be biased. When a lawyer that we defend is wrong, it's wrong. Let's stand with the truth. This is the test of time. This is where we are tested. This is where we are tested whether we're following with emotions or fact. Me, looking at the things that I've just highlighted to you, I'm not happy with the conduct of the lawyer, and I'm not going to be happy with it. Let me highlight the video this way. The fact that he was given the job, he came, he asked for postponement, that day, right? And then he says, I think it was 2 weeks, and then he came back and he says, no, I need 3 weeks more. He was even sure that it was going to be done. The first time he went to read this thing, when he was granted postponement, a professional will have a clear, or at least something next to preciseness to say, okay, this is the work. Because Angiti, he was given the first 2 weeks. The work that he was able to do in 2 weeks, my mind tells me that what he was able to do in 2 weeks, he would have said, okay, in 2 weeks, I was able to read 5,000 pages, right? Before he asked the second postponement. Then he will say, oh, so say, look, I'm able to do 5,000 pages in 2 weeks. I make it a example. So technically, if it's 40,000 pages, then it means that, you know what I'm saying? You multiply the number accordingly then. The fact that he came and asked for the second postponement, but it still doesn't know when it's going to finish. Guys, no. Mm-mm. You know, let me tell you this. Let me tell you, and it's something that I always say to other people. Me, I know. You see, if the Senzomeyiwa case is running up and running, I know the number of videos I can do. And I know the money that I can get out of the number of videos that I can do. I know right now, Uguti, we get more views if the person who's cross-examining is this and this. You know, I know exactly that people are reacting this way. Not even a legal expert, but I've been doing this job of analyzing the case. So I know these things because I've been doing this thing. I started doing this, analyzing this case, it was 17 July 2023. So I know exactly, good, okay, if I can post this number of videos in this channel, I'm able to get this much. If I want to, this is how much work it takes for me to produce this number of videos. This is the research that is required. You know, I know exactly. Something that I've been doing for the past 2 years. We're talking of a lawyer that has been there for years. Guys, no. Urata ute in his defense ute, I've been a lawyer. That words, he says, I've had to deal with situations that are far more complicated than this one. But I've dealt with those situations in a short space of time. Me, in conclusion, I would have understood if Mnisi, upon going through the work the first time before he asked for the second postponement, he came back, maybe if he came back and said, listen, up to so far, I am probably on I'm probably on maybe page 5,000. Looking at that ratio, it tells me that by this time I will be ready. If it was the judge that reduced the number, then I will understand. But he has gone through the work. He has seen the work. He was confident he's going to finish the work during this time. Then the judge says, I'm adding more time so that you don't complain. Remember the words of the judge. I'm giving you more time so that you don't complain. You don't come and say you didn't have enough time. Because of the words that the judge said then, Mnisi, I'm telling you, he's not going to win this one. That's why when the judge president comes in, he will not win this argument. Believe it or not, he's not going to win this argument. Because it's going to be more about ethical conduct. You trust my words, it's going to be more about ethical conduct than anything else. We've seen this movie before. We are seeing it with Advocate Dalimpov, Advocate Mkweban. It's about ethical conduct. This one, it will come down to being an ethical conduct thing than anything else. Trust you me.